Oi, cheesy boy. Meow. Come here, say something. Meow. Meow. No, you can't lay on the papers. Oh, son.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine. I've got a cat laying all over the papers again. He just did it. He just did the thing where he was sleeping and he woke himself up talking to himself in his sleep. Greetings, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Dreamscapes. Today, we are very fortunate to have back a prior guest, our friend Munch, and she's going to share another dream with us. So, as per my usual process, without further ado, I'll throw it over and take it away.
Okay, so in this dream, I was like, I had like a very rich family. To me, the place seemed like Tampa, Florida, like Florida, just like palm trees, a lot of tropical stuff, like beaches and stuff like that. Very modern home, like you ever seen like, just like white and like just modern, no like roofs that like points, just boxes and stuff like that. I didn't look like myself. I had brown hair and brown eyes, and I think I was a lot older too. Like I might have been like around like 20, 25 in that area. I had two brothers. I had one older and one younger, and I had a mom and dad. And my family, like, they kind of just look like the perfect family. Like they're all like really attractive. My father, like I distinctly remember him like kind of like a George Clooney look. I, for some reason, I didn't like my appearance. Like, I just, like, I liked, like, dressing in costumes. One of my favorite costumes to do was, Jessica Rabbit. Like, I would dress up in her wig, and I would, like, put that on and, like, dance in the mirror and stuff. And I would pretty much just go outside like this. And I think, like, that's kind of normal for rich people. Just, like, they have, like, a lot of nice clothes, and they do not want to waste it, obviously. But yeah, I never left the house looking like myself. Like, no one knew what my actual hair color was, except my family. And I had a lot of poorer family. Like, I don't know why my family didn't help them out. Like, they were, like, a lot more poor. Like, small, like, apartments, project poor. And I would go to their house a lot, and my brothers got along with them, but I hated them. Like, they were just mean to me.
We've got our first cat visitor here. Sorry, son.
Hi, kitty.
There he is. This one's Cece.
And I just didn't have any friends. Like, I don't remember like having any friends in the dream. Maybe that was just like not part of. Yeah, I felt really lonely, so I don't think I had any friends. And yeah, like they pretty much my extended family, they pretty much just like kicked me out of the house one time. And like, yeah, that's kind of a dick move considering like there's a killer all loose. Like they just kicked me out. Like, fuck off, bitch. And so I was just like wandering around like the city, and I came across this like facility, and I just like was curious, so I like hopped the fence, and I see this facility a lot in my dreams. Like I think it's like a government facility, like they experiment on people, because I usually have powers when I go to this facility. And I just kind of like sat in the field for a little bit, and I looked at the sky, and then I kind of felt like something was watching me. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try to find like a bench and lay there for a little bit and like get away from here. Also, that was the only time I actually left the house looking like myself. I wasn't playing a character, just in my pajamas. I go back home. My parents let me in my house, and I just go to sleep. And a couple of days pass, and I hear about another one of the killings, and that might be a little bit graphic, but basically, like, I don't know why they would show this on TV, but it's my dream. The guy's head was turned complete 180, so that messed me up. And but at this point, like, I was kind of numb to it. Like, I've seen this a bunch of times in my dream. And I go to the bathroom after I ate my cereal, and I just like clean my face, and I was so like mad. Like, I was just like angry at my peers. I was angry about how I looked, and I was like just angry that people were so mean to me, and I just kind of broke the mirror of my mind. I told my parents, they're like, let's just buy a new mirror. You're probably imagining things. So yeah. And some time passes, and like a bunch of my family members all start getting powers. I was the strongest, so I could use it the most. Probably because like I had nothing to do, so I was just like in my room all the time, like putting on makeup and like trying on my outfits. So like that was the only thing I could do. My brothers had like acting jobs, and my parents, I'm pretty sure they were doing tax fraud. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, and yeah, like their powers though, like they couldn't really move things. They could just break things. I could move things and I could like create things, but they could just only break things. So I was more powerful than they were. I can do more things. My family, but because like they were just like so like powerful, they didn't feel like anything could hurt them anymore, and so they started like doing more dangerous stuff. My brothers like got really into drugs, and they got into drug dealing, and eventually like apparently like I think the killer was actually in my extended family, and like he did not like any of us. Like he just kind of pretended to like my brothers. And so he tried to kill someone else in the neighborhood and like prey on us. Well, he did kill them, but we tried to run away, but the police got us first. And I kind of like panicked and went back to my old ways. I went to my room and like grabbed all my outfits, like they're my comfort objects. And I basically like there was like this weird voice in my head telling me, "It's gonna be okay. Just run. Your family is going to be fine. Do not worry about it." And so I did, and I ran down the highway, like I was faster than all the cars, and I ran past the ocean, and depending on the way you see it, I was either flying above it, or I was like a cheetah that was running amongst gazelle, but I didn't want to eat them, I just kind of just wanted to run with them, and that's kind of how my dream ends.
Okay. A lot of detail there. I wrote as fast as I could to try and keep up, and this guy here didn't make it easier. You're so cute, son, but you're in the way. This, you know what's weird? Okay, I'll tell you this. This is CC, and people can barely see him here. He has dreams, and he talks in his sleep. I'll see him twitching and meow, meow, making little noises and doing his thing. And sometimes I have to call his name, and I wake him up, and then he'll come to me for comfort. I don't think he's having pleasant dreams. Or maybe they are. Hell if I know. But some of them seem like he doesn't like it very much. I'll have to look into that one, at some point. Like, do cats have nightmares? I don't know. I mean, I assume.
I think all animals dream. Like
Yeah.
my dog has nightmares. She runs in her sleep.
Oh yeah, and you gotta wonder: are they nightmares, or are they doing something they enjoy? Are they talking to birds out the window? Who knows? Most we have too many cats, and a lot of them chirp at bugs and birds. They make little noises like that. Anyway, so we got some stuff there. So that's the first portion. Actually, let me completely forgot to make a note of the time. That was about 8:30ish. Okay. It's easy, boy. You're gonna have to move. Slide over. There you go. All right, so we got through the first bit, or the first pass, and then we'll get back into the deep dive a little bit here, because I think I probably missed about half of it, just writing as fast as I could. It's lots of details and stuff. Keep walking, son. Go. Okay, he's gonna come back and lay on the papers. I love having them here, but man, they make this complicated sometimes. Okay, so you, there he goes on top of the papers. Come here, you can lay there. That's fine. All right, so you were in kind of you said a tropical like Florida setting with the palms and beaches and kind of a rich neighborhood, fancy area because your family was wealthy. That's where you were living.
Yeah, like Sarasota kind of place.
Okay, have you actually been there, or that's just from?
Yeah, my uncle owns a house there.
Okay, so you've actually kind of been down there before.
Yeah.
And seen that. Gotcha. And what we got here? And then I guess when you were trying to describe the house a little bit, it had kind of that what people would call a McMansion look to it.
Yeah, like very glassy, like just very modern. Not like the old type mansion, obviously, and not like Spanish style house.
Okay, and you became aware of yourself in the dream, but you noticed you were different. How did that happen? What was the scene around you when that discovery was made?
Just like a lot of mirrors. Like I didn't know it at the time, obviously, because I was in a dream, just kind of unaware of it. But when I woke up, yes, I did know that I was very different. I had brown hair, brown eyes. And I just had like a lot of darker features. Like I had like olive skin. In real life, I'm pale. I have blonde hair and blue eyes.
Okay.
I also have like a really thin face. I have a chubby face in real life. Just different looking. Yeah.
Gotcha. When you think about that, that image representation, is that in any way aspirational? Any things you would like to have? Darker hair, darker eyes, darker skin?
Yeah, I find that pretty.
Okay. Okay. And if I remember correctly, you do have a brother in real life, but just one younger brother?
Yeah.
Okay, but no older brothers?
Yeah, I don't have an older brother. He did not look like anyone in the stream, though, and didn't act like anyone, so.
And any of the people in your dream, I mean, you knew they were brothers and parents and family, but they didn't look like your actual family at all?
Yeah, if anything, they look like celebrities.
Yeah, you mentioned the whole
people I see on TV. Yeah.
Yeah, like your father looking more like George Clooney. So everyone was the rich and the beautiful people, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I think I got a little bit lost when you were making some descriptions. This was in the dream that you were the type of person who spent a lot of time alone, putting on different outfits. That's what you like to do in the dream?
Yeah, it's basically like what I did. I like to like dress up different characters. I did a lot of cosplay. I did like a lot of people from history, like I did Marilyn Monroe. I did Jessica Rabbit. I did basically anything like I could think of, just that like I could idealize.
Gotcha.
Just
and
like
did you have that experience in the dream of going through those motions, experiencing yourself trying on the outfits, or you just knew that's something that was a hobby of yours?
I did a couple of them. I remember Jessica Rabbit, I remember Marilyn Monroe, and I remember one cosplay. It was, I think it was Mikasa from Attack on Titan. But I didn't do anything else other than that. So. Okay.
That just brought up, did you ever watch the Accelerator series, or what was it called? The Magical Index series?
No, to be honest.
The way you said Mikasa made me think of Misaka. Anyone who's an anime fan out there that knows the certain Magical Index might get a kick out of that reference. But anyway, it just brought it to my mind. Okay, so you did. How were you feeling when you did those things? When you were alone, just doing your costume changes, dancing in front of the mirror?
I felt a lot more confident. Like that was like I could just change in anything I wanted to. Um, and it was just like something to pass the time, honestly. Like I didn't have any friends, so I kind of had to think of something to pass the time. I didn't have any pianos in that house or like anything else to do.
Okay. And yeah, you did mention that you kind of just, was it, all I wrote down was never left the house. Didn't look like myself. Was your
Well,
family?
I did leave the house, but I didn't have any friends. Like I took walks and like I would like try to get compliments and stuff like from like my amazing costume skills.
Okay. That was an experience you had in the dream, or you knew that's something also you did?
That was something I did. I also went shopping a lot for said costumes.
Okay. So you were also having this experience in the dream of leaving the house to show yourself off and to acquire new costumes?
Yeah.
Okay. And that kind of came in that portion of the dream that we're talking about where you're trying on costumes and then you're leaving the house to go show them off, and then you go home and then you go shopping and you come back. So there's a whole lot of time passing in this dream. Seems like it went on for quite a while.
Yeah, it felt a lot longer than it probably was. Like I think like REM sleep is only like 90 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's actually, I mean, I did another video, I think I did, or I was, yeah, I think it's one of my ABC series where it talks about, we used to think dreams only happen in REM sleep. But it's just that most of them overlap with that period of time, but that we're actually probably dreaming a lot more than we think when it's not externally visible. That's one of those kind of, I guess you'd say, common misconceptions about dreaming, is that they only happen during REM sleep. So maybe yours did. And then again, you can have a dream that seems like it spans 100 years and you remember a lot of details and it took place in 5 minutes. It's entirely possible.
That happened to me too. Like I got married and I had time to have a 7-year-old, and then I woke up and I got really sad.
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah, for sure. That kind of experience. It's crazy. It's a whole nother world. I mean, it's things happening at the speed of thought, basically. So they can be it can be anything. It's like we can fly in our dreams. Yeah. Where was we at there? So it was after this kind of phase of the trying on the costumes and showing off in public and whatnot. And then that's when you became aware or started to have the experience that there was extended family nearby.
Yeah, I kind of was like always aware of them. Like I was just like I felt like dread, and like I have to go to their house now.
So there was kind of your family visiting their family type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you described that your brothers liked them, but you didn't really like them. And then there was again that sense of dread that you talked about, of like not wanting to go there. Did your parents go with you?
No.
Okay, so it was just kind of the
Honestly,
kids.
it was kind of like you drop your kids off at your grandparents for the weekend kind of thing.
Okay.
Even though we were in our 20s.
So you had I know that was just a kind of an analogy of like dropping the kids off for the weekend, but did you remember that kind of thing happening ish, of being left there for a period of time?
Yes, I was left there for like I know time passed because I changed like so many outfits, but probably like I'd say 2 days, like a weekend. Yeah.
And the same experience of changing multiple costumes. Where did you do it in their house? Since yours was larger, richer, better, well appointed, more space, where were you in their house changing?
I did it in their like bathroom, like with just like the toilet, like you know those bathrooms, just a toilet and a sink. I just had like a tiny space and I do it in there.
Just did your thing. Do you remember what everyone else was doing during that time?
Um. Okay, this is the reason I didn't like them, was because they like to do drugs and like they were like always smoking, and like I remember cocaine. So
Okay.
I was just like, I did not want any part of that. Like, please get it away from me. And like I always sensed like they had like a disdain for me and my brothers, and I never really knew why, but I think it was jealousy. So
Okay. So do you remember your brothers? So you said your brothers liked them, so there was something appealing about them to the brothers. Were they participating?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then the next thing I had written down there was that that extended family during that kind of 2-day stay, at some point they kicked you out. They wanted you to leave.
Yeah, like I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna go. Thanks for everything, I guess, and they kicked me out.
So you kind of introduced the idea. I'm not really feeling comfortable here. I don't want to stay. And they're like, well, then get the fuck out. That kind of that
Yeah.
emotion to it.
But like,
Okay.
leave. We're not driving you to your parents' house either. Go.
Okay. So they're like, you are more than welcome to leave. We didn't want you here anyway. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And then the next thing I had written down was that this is kind of the part of the dream where the killer comes into it.
I just like, yeah, like I just, there was like a killer for a while, but
So you'd been aware of it throughout other portions of the dream, but now is where it kind of came into sharper focus.
yeah, because I was outside at night, I was like, "Ugh."
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I did like basically it was kind of like a movie. Like I'd see like from a movie standpoint, and like I'd see like how he would kill them, and that's how I was aware of his existence.
Okay. So there were
So I guess you could say I had more powers than I thought I did.
maybe so. Yeah, yeah. You were getting this information. I want to get a little more clear understanding of what that was like. So throughout other portions of the dream, had you had visions or flashes of what this person was doing?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I would like basically I would just see like the product of the death, like what happened to them, not like the killing, but basically like just like blood everywhere, and the person's head was always like cut off and put like the opposite way it should be.
Okay. And that seemed to be a consistent result of these murders. That was this serial killer's MO, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. There's probably a better term. I watched enough episodes of CSI Las Vegas that I should know the terminology a little bit better, but I don't. That's as close as I can get to it. As all serial killers do. They have the way they like to kill, and this one seems particularly twisted. He's trying to say something with his murders. Yeah. So you're wandering around the city at night and you end up at this facility. Do you remember going anywhere else first? Having any other experience? I mean, first of all, your home, your actual home in the dream, your primary family home was in a kind of good neighborhood. This was more a bad neighborhood.
This was like city. My home was in like just like very private area. Honestly, like I think it was on an island, like just islands off the coast of Florida.
Okay.
So a lot more private. But this was like actual like city, and like I was just kind of wandering at night, and I came upon like a more like closed off area, and like there's a fence and like a field and like a facility, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna climb over this thing. I have nothing else to do.
How did you feel when you were wandering? I mean, did you feel vulnerable, threatened by being out alone in the dark in the night?
Yeah, I felt extremely lonely too, like just isolated, and there was no one else outside. Like you'd think like walking after a while, you'd probably see like at least one or two people, but I didn't see anyone.
No other people on the streets anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you, do you remember any type of area that it was? I mean, were you in kind of a, what am I trying to say? Words are just failing me today completely. like the descriptions of the buildings? Because you say then suddenly you come across like a field. Were you close to an industrial area, or because you mentioned a
Yeah,
factory?
industrial.
Okay, so pretty quickly transitioned from anything resembling like residential to more industrial, or at least that's where you ended up when you left the house. Is kind of in that.
Honestly, like it was pretty instant. Like houses, and then like, oh, I'm here now. Just okay, industrial.
Okay. And you said you've had the experience of this type of facility in the past. How would you describe the building? What comes to mind?
It is. It's very big, but it's not tall. Like it's just like I'd say like it's like 3 stories tall, and then like it's just very like wide and lengthy and gray.
Yeah, a little more maybe about the. So you said it was gray. Did it look like it was made of concrete? Very imposing. Did it look?
Concrete and steel. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I see it a lot in my dreams, and basically like it's kind of like the key like thing. Like if I see that thing in my dream, I'm probably gonna get a superpower.
Yeah. Where do you think that comes from in terms of your experience of just from mass media? Creepy science place.
Laboratories. Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you had any particular experience or if it's just, kind of that common understanding we all have. Oh, this place. And that's become kind of iconic in your mind and repeated itself across multiple dreams. So you said you jumped the fence, and then what did you do after jumping the fence? Did you go inside or?
I didn't go inside. I actually never go inside the building. I just kind of like chill outside of it. And yeah, I was just like, it was this clear opening, and the reason I think every reason I was there is because I could see the stars, and like just city life is sucky and you can't see stars. So I was just chilling out there, and I was looking at the stars, and then I felt like I was being watched, and I kind of wanted to leave, and so I left.
Yeah, in that period of time between, say, jumping the fence out of curiosity, or what was it that spurred you to jump the fence? What was the purpose?
I just feel called to it. Like I guess like after seeing it so many times in my dreams, I'm like, okay, I need to go there.
Were you anticipating I want to go there because then I will get powers? Is that kind of a?
No, I just knew I really wanted to go there.
Okay, gotcha. And then what you ended up doing was not going inside or anything. And you say you never go inside, but you went out to an open area.
Yeah, just like a field-ish, like just grass, pretty much.
And then how were you feeling when you were chilling on the grass, watching the stars?
Just relaxed. Like I felt genuinely relaxed and at peace.
Okay. But then that peace was broken by the sense of being watched?
Yeah, in which case, like, I made sure to get out of there because I remembered, oh, yeah, I'm outside at night and there's a killer, so.
Did you have any idea of what it might be, or was it completely mysterious?
I thought it was the killer at that moment, so I ran away, but I don't know for sure, so.
Okay. All right. So and then that's when you just went home and you pretty much went to bed?
Yeah.
Was anyone else there when you got home, or?
No, it was an empty house, but there was a light on in the kitchen. That's the only thing I actually remembered. And then I went to bed. Like everything else was dark.
Okay. And it was, so you had the experience of going to sleep in your dream, and then it was the next day? Or what is the the time frame of the next thing you remember?
Just morning.
Morning of the next day. And this is when you say then you heard about another murder, and you said it was on television?
Yeah, it was.
Where did you watch or see that displayed on television? What room in the house?
living room. Like it was like everyone that in the house was there because my brothers had come home. So
Okay. The night before, did you have any sense of where your parents might have been?
no, I mean they probably were sleeping. Maybe they were out. I don't know.
Okay, just no sense of where they were at all.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And you remember feeling particularly nothing, having heard of this new murder, that at this point there'd been so many, you said you were just numb to it?
Yeah, like I kind of wanted to feel bad, like it was disturbing to look at, but at the end of the day, like it's happened so much, like I can't really feel bad anymore. Like I don't know how to describe that feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I think numb to it is a good way to put it. There is that, now my brain's just not working today. There's terms for that kind of stuff of desensitized. Yeah. Gotcha. There we go. I'm proud of myself. I pulled that, reached right into that Swiss cheese hole in my head and pulled it out. And then my own chicken scratch here. Mad at the appearance and people not liking me. The appearance of what? Do you remember what that was?
My just like everything about my face and stuff.
So this was so the next thing after that. So everyone's in the living room. You didn't sit down and join them. You went to the bathroom.
Yeah, I went to the bathroom, like wash my face and stuff, like what you do in the morning, just brush my teeth. And I just remember like I was just like angry from the night before. Like my family just like let me go outside. Like they kicked me out knowing when a killer was on the loose. And then like I'm just mad at how I look like too. And just I was just like angry at the world, and I kind of just broke them here. So,
do you remember what that felt like at that moment that happened? Any interesting sensations?
I just like I was like I want to break the mirror, and then it broke, pretty much.
Okay. Okay, getting so many notes here. Hey.
But there was like a pain in my head, like the middle of my forehead. There was a pain. But I get that a lot. I have a lot of headaches.
Okay. Wouldn't it be nice if they were not just headaches, but if you had to endure them, at least they were a sign of psychic powers?
That would be awesome.
Right?
They're not.
And then how soon was it? I mean, did your family have any reaction to the breaking of the mirror? Did they come running in or?
They didn't hear it. I just kind of like walked out and said like, the mirror's broken. I don't know what happened. They're like, okay, we'll buy a new one. Whatever.
Okay. And then the next thing I had written down was that then all the family started getting powers. So was there a period of time elapsing? Or how did that next part unfold?
I remember my mom getting her power. I do not remember the rest of my family getting their power. Like it just kind of like happened. I guess like months passed. But my mom, like I guess she was like a housewife. Like even though like they were super rich, and she was cooking, and she was extremely mad at the oven, and like it busted open, like it almost exploded on her.
Okay. And then, were you there with her when that happened, or you're just aware that it did happen?
I was sitting on the couch watching TV, and I heard it. So.
And then did you go running in and ask her what's going on?
Yeah, that's what happened pretty much.
Okay.
Because like I was mad at the oven, it exploded. So.
But yeah, at that point, you got the sense that she understood this was a psychic power type phenomenon.
No, she didn't think it that yet. But like over time, like it was just happening like to more and more people in the family, and like consistently. And they're like, okay, there's definitely something going on.
Okay.
So yeah.
And at some point, can you say anything about the reactions of the other family members as they made this, came to accept it, came to understand it?
They just like came to accept it as like part of them now, and like we just like all felt powerful, like nothing could put us down, pretty much.
Okay. And this is also the point where you kind of mentioned your brothers being actors and your parents possibly committing tax fraud, like maybe that's how they got rich. Is this the point in the dream when that came to your consciousness, or was that something also that you'd known throughout and you just mentioned it at that moment?
I knew my brothers were actors, but just because like I was like more powerful now and I felt like a little bit more confident in myself, like I started like asking around like why things were, and I like snuck into my parents' bedroom and I looked in like their cabinets, and yeah, lots of fraud.
Okay. Did you have any
So
sense of? Oh, go ahead.
police didn't arrest. So the police weren't going to arrest us for the murder. They're definitely going to arrest for the fraud. Yeah.
What I was wondering is, did you have any indication from the evidence you found of where that fraud had been directed? Who or what got defrauded?
No, I had no idea. I just knew it was fraud.
Okay, something that perhaps their wealth was not legitimately gained. It was coming from
Yeah.
some criminal activity. Okay.
So
Gotcha. Okay. Did you get a sense from your family that they were content with just breaking things, even though you could do more? Did they know you could do more?
yes, they actually asked me to do tricks occasionally.
They asked you to do tricks. What? How did they feel about that? Were they angry, jealous, resentful? Did they give you a hard time about it?
No.
Okay. Did you get a sense that they felt happy for you? That they're like, this is great?
No, they just kind of like, it was like a neutral reaction. Like they're like, okay, our daughter could do more than us, but she's still our daughter at the end of the day. Like it's not like anything else has changed. We all changed pretty much, so.
Okay. And then once, so yeah, you were mentioning that this was actually when your brothers, even though they'd kind of been into visiting the other extended family and partying with them occasionally, now's when they really got into it. And they're like, now that we got powers, we're going to increase our criminal activity or get into new criminal activity.
Yeah, because they weren't like really scared of the consequences anymore, pretty much.
Do you remember anything specific that they did in terms of just anything?
Like drug dealing. Like I saw like sacks of stuff. I assume it was cocaine. But yeah.
No specific incidences or conversations with them or observing any behaviors from them?
I didn't really see much of anything else, but they did start carrying guns.
Okay.
So. Not that they really need it. I mean, they can break things with their mind, but
right. I guess better safe than sorry. Why not have two ways to break things? Fair enough. And then the next thing I had down here was that this is when you became aware that the killer was actually a part of your extended family. How did that come to your mind?
Oh yeah, also I know what the killer looks like. I remember what he actually looks like, but he was like he actually like looked like more like me than any of the other characters in the story with this dream. And he had a beard and like just really long hair, was in a ponytail. But yeah, like other than that, like he did look a lot like me. So.
And that is in terms of the features you described at the beginning, the darker hair, darker eyes, olive skin.
Yeah.
Do you remember which extended family member this was? A cousin, an uncle, grandfather?
He was a I think he was a cousin because of how old I was. Like he was like in his 30s. I was like my early 20s. So.
Okay. And do you have any sense of his motivation? Do you know why he was killing people?
No, but I do know why he killed the last people.
So yeah, that was the next thing you mentioned, is that now another person closer to your home in your own neighborhood on your, maybe this private island you were describing, in that bubble or safe space, the private space, now the killer's intruding there. And you say you know why that murder was committed?
Yeah, I think it was jealousy. Like, he's just jealous for our wealth and stuff.
Do you remember who he killed? You said just another person in your neighborhood.
He killed a family in our neighborhood. Like, they had like there's like a wife and husband and like their children.
Killed them all?
Yeah. And then he burned the house down.
Wow. Scorched earth, literally.
And this is all happening at night. Like, I saw like the fire. So.
Okay. So you saw that fire, and that was kind of the trigger for you to go home and grab your stuff and get the hell out?
Yeah.
You're like, this is too close to home. I don't want to be here anymore. This is not a safe place anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
And at what point is it that you heard that voice in your head? Was it while you were watching the fire? That voice that said, run, get out of here. Your family's going to be fine.
No, it was the morning after the fire, actually. My family, like, they were almost like done packing. And I was like, okay, I don't not feel comfortable. I need my stuff. Like, I ran back into my room. Like, it told me only get the essentials. And I wanted my stuff because it made me feel comfortable. And yeah, the police came during that.
Okay, so it was actually, you didn't go straight home that night and in the dark of night, pack your shit and run. You actually, you went home where that was still safe, but you're like, even your whole family was like, we're not staying here. We're getting out.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's when you gathered your stuff. Do you remember any particular outfits?
I honestly do not know what outfits I was picking out, but I do I picked up a blue, blonde, and red wig, and I grabbed like a bunch of dresses, pretty much.
And then it was actually the next morning that your family was you were all preparing to leave. They were going to leave too, but you left earlier than them. You left first.
No, we all left at the same time.
Okay.
I just went back in the house and grabbed my costumes.
How far did you guys make it in that act of leaving before you turned around to go back and get your stuff? Like, had you already gone to another part of town and you went way back on your own?
No, it was just we were just about to get in the car, and I was like, oh crap.
Okay.
So.
And then you're going back to get a few more things, and it's in that room while you're gathering those items that you heard that voice?
Yeah, I heard that voice, and I was like, okay, I'll listen to you. And so I went outside, and the police had actually come to look at my parents while they're in the car, as I was inside. And I stopped to look at it for a couple of seconds, just gather what I was looking at, and then I booked it.
So the police had come, and did you get a sense of why they were there? They were talking to your parents.
My cousin framed them for the murder.
Okay.
So.
Specifically framed your parents, not you or your brothers.
Yeah, that's why we were leaving.
Okay. Okay. So you came, say, downstairs, or at least to the front door, wherever you were able to see the police talking to your parents. But then you decided not to hang out and watch what would happen to them. You're like, I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah, the voice in my head told me they would be okay, and I believed them because they have telekinesis. So.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And did you get a sense of why the voice was telling you to run?
Not really, just like wanted me to get away. Like, this is not for you. You're not meant to be here.
Okay, not a place you're
Not
supposed
your
to be.
fight.
And then you had an interesting experience at the very end of the dream where you were running with gazelles, and you were. Did you see? You say from maybe like a, those classic nature show helicopter flying over, watching the herd run across the plains. Is that kind of the view you had?
Yeah, I was a cheetah running with a gazelle, and yes, that was pretty much the view I had. I guess you could kind of take it that I was flying above them, but I also felt like I identified with that cheetah. So.
And that as that cheetah, you were not chasing them. You were not hunting them. You were not presenting a danger to them. You were just running with them. Running with them was the purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's pretty much when you woke up? After that was the last scene of the dream?
Yeah, that was the last. Can you give me a second? I gotta get a charger.
Oh, sure. No problem. There he is. Well, he's son. You got to get up, though. You got to get up. I'm going to try and pick him up. He doesn't like to be picked up. Like, he doesn't claw me or anything, but he won't let me hold him. Like, he's going to get up and run away immediately. There he goes.
My cat's a huge sweetie. Like, she is chilled. She does not care about anything.
Yeah, this one, he's got a funny relationship with wanting to be loved, but not wanting to be held. If you're going to lay there, you got to give me the papers. Oh, now he doesn't want to lay there. I moved the papers.
Like, that paper was my bed, man.
He says, now where do I fit? I don't know. Okay, I'll probably keep at least some of that. But we've been through the first pass, and the second pass always takes longer, of course. And before we get into having me offer any suggestions, in the telling and the retelling and the details, did anything come to your mind about what this dream is saying to you?
Honest, not really. Like, I did see like some things about like confidence issues and like finally like finding like your own inner strength. But that's about it.
Yeah, those are some of the kind of surface level or more obvious things. I mean, gaining sudden ability, sudden powers in that sense, but also your family gaining them, but then you gaining more or better than they did. Speaking to like I had increase of quality or something. You were going to say?
Okay. I had, from what I remember, I had actually a couple more powers than they did have. They only had telekinesis. I had apparently clairvoyance, super speed.
Oh, that's right.
Telekinesis and the power of flight. If you're gonna not say I was cheetah.
Count that at the very end, yeah. But you had identified with the cheetah,
so
right? It's multiple powers, yeah, for sure. It is, yeah, very interesting there too. And this whole idea of so you've got a lot of family dynamic issues going. Who likes who feels comfortable with who cares what happens to who. Issues of also certain concepts of people close to you or related to you or not too far removed that are dangerous, that are doing hurtful things out of spite, jealousy, anger at the world, and then that betrayal sense of like framing your family, your parents, for what they did. I don't know if there's anything going on in that kind of broad strokes of the whole family dynamics angle that comes to your mind.
I actually have a pretty healthy family. I mean, we do have some black sheep, but I don't have a lot of issues there. So.
Okay. Yeah, you're not dealing with any specific issues of betrayal. I moved the paper. He comes to find it. I'm going to give you, here, you want this paper? You can have all these. All of these over here. Okay. Don't turn the recording off, son. Oh my goodness. What a disaster. It's a cat disaster. It's a cat ass trophy. Jesus. Oh, son, I can't with my notes. Okay. You just lay there. I'll pet you. This killer, it struck me that very interesting ritual, I guess, that he had with the heads, like cutting them off and spinning them around 180 degrees to face backwards on top of the torso. I don't know if that what comes to mind when you think about that. What's going on there?
Just like the obvious, like going a complete 180.
Yeah. There's something there. There's something there in terms of he's making a statement by that. He's ended their life, so he's turned them 180 from life to death. But there's something else going on there too, and you get the sense that he's targeting people out of jealousies. His motive is to ruin them, to hurt them, to take away what they have. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Maybe it's like the reap what you sow thing, because once my family started like getting more and more power, like they started like getting more and more dangerous stuff, and they eventually like they got caught by the police. Yeah,
the police were coming, and you had that experience at that time that they were coming specifically to talk to your parents because they believed your parents had been committing the murders.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for anything else they'd done. It wasn't for the tax stuff. It wasn't for the
It would eventually find it if they searched our house. So
they would. You knew they were going to get busted for everything. There was a comeuppance coming. All of their chickens were coming home to roost.
Yeah.
That was the feeling you had. And that was kind of what was going on when that voice was telling you, maybe just get out of here. Just whatever, all this bad stuff. You don't want any part of it. Just leave.
Yeah, because in a lot of ways, like, I wasn't really a part of it. Like, I didn't even know any of this. My brothers and my parents did all that stuff. I just kind of want to be alone and play in my room.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. That kind of common theme of spending a lot of time alone and feeling lonely, and also, kind of an overarching theme throughout the whole thing of appearing first, not even to be as you are in real life, but someone else. Like already in your dream, you're wearing a costume, this other face, and then on top of that, you're testing out these other. I don't know why the word identities comes to mind, and then testing those out. Go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely say identities. Like I played the character completely. Actually, if I mentioned that, like I would change my personality too.
Yeah, taking on a role. That's what I thought too. Is here's all these changing your own face. There's another kind of reversal there too of changing one thing to another. There's some kind of a theme growing in my head there too. But then you would also take them, say, out of the house into public and get reactions to it. Are you in your life right now working on how you want to represent yourself to the world? Does that make sense?
Doing I wouldn't really say represent myself. Like I just like kind of got into like witchcraft, like my Wiccan aunts, like they've been teaching me stuff. So that's definitely new, but
okay,
not like changing my appearance or anything.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, we've got in the dream the visual imagery of changing costumes, but then there's also the metaphysical internal experience of changing beliefs, changing how you understand the world around you, what you think about it, what you're going to do with that understanding. Does it feel like that kind of stuff is changing in your life?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Okay. Yeah, there's probably a theme. Well, there's definitely a theme of related to that kind of stuff going here. So there's ideas and identities and internal representations being reflected on the outside. You've got this family that looks like something people would assume was good, rich, beautiful, actors, George Clooney, money, nice house, but there's kind of a rotten core to some of that too, of like the parents aren't on the up and up. They're doing some shady things. They're defrauding someone or something. They're not coming by this wealth and power legitimately. In fact, they didn't get their powers until after you did, and it was pretty much a result of you. Almost like they're leeching off of you, like your aura allowed them this power. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on it? On just that line of reasoning?
Sounds like I not being honest with my inner self or something. Like in real life, that's probably what the symbolism is.
Maybe so.
Like I put up appearances and I'm not actually acting like that.
Yeah. Well, in a sense, we all do in terms of, say, putting on appearances. I mean, we all, one of the famous, I think it was Carl Jung's quotes is, we all wear masks. We take on different roles, and those roles are defined by certain behaviors and responsibilities. The role of a parent, the role of, being a hot dog vendor, the role of baseball player. We are only those things if we do what those things do. As soon as we step outside of it, then we become something else. And staying inside of it is generally a choice. It's like, I'm doing this for a reason. So more than just the dream speaking to, say, broad ideas of identity and confidence and power and, but also like fear, family issues with the potential for dangerous things happening. There's also, completely lost my train of thought. Damn, no, I had something good there. There's an idea of seeking to identify what role you want to adopt. There's something in there. That's not what I was going to say either. Where was it in my notes? You feel free to jump in anytime. I'm kind of floundering a little bit.
I'm not really good as you are, so
yeah.
I mean, if I agree with it, if it doesn't make sense to me, I will tell you. So
yeah, no, and I always appreciate that. I tell folks to just be honest. If I have a suggestion and it doesn't make sense, feel free. There were some interesting, but I guess I could just kind of go back through some of the interesting points I made. A little carrots here. This dream it seemed like it had a lot of glass and mirrors in it, like glass in terms of windows, things you could see into, and mirrors, things that reflected back what you're looking at, or yourself towards you. So what do you think about that idea?
Yeah, just like I'm like changing a lot, so it's kind of like I've been doing a lot of self-reflection. Like I've been trying to be a better person lately, so
okay,
that might be it.
Yeah, I mean there is a sense of gaining new powers in self-reflection. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Can you say anything about it? I mean,
I guess it's just a metaphor for like me trying witchcraft. Like, I don't know.
Maybe so, but it's like self-understanding is a kind of power in and of itself.
Yeah, I do think that is, because a lot of people don't understand themselves. And
yeah. If you don't know why you're doing something, you can't really understand whether it's getting you
it's
where
like self-control, basically.
Yeah, self-control is a big part of it too. And it seemed as if part of the discovery process for your powers was having a moment of, I don't know, was it lacking self-control to break the mirror because you wanted to? You're like, I'm not happy with what I see, so I'm going to shatter the reflection. There's something in there. Go ahead.
I was just angry. Like I didn't like control myself. I just did it. So yeah, I'd say that.
Okay. What else is here? There's also a lot of, say, comparisons going on. There's your behaviors and your choices, and then you're watching the choices and behaviors of others around you and how they're and viewing them with a bit of judgment. What would you say about that?
I wouldn't say I judged my family. I just was like, you guys are gonna get caught. You guys are gonna get caught. Stop.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's two, I say, different senses of understanding the idea of judgment. One is condemnation of like moral superiority. I'm better than you because I don't do that. But the other is a judgment of consequences are coming. That's a type of judgment.
Okay. Yeah. That is judgment.
Yeah. No, for sure. And that doesn't say anything bad about you. That's just like you're looking at these things critically. So in evaluating yourself and the potential to adopt new ways of acting in the world, you're having to make these judgment calls, observing other people. Do I want to end up like them? Do I want to be, and maybe that's part of what was going on with the extended family living a lesser quality of life. In some senses, it was a reflection of their choices.
Yeah, I definitely say that.
That seems to resonate with you inside the dream.
Yeah, like they were just like bad people. Like that's why I didn't like them. Like my brothers, like kind of just like they allowed it. Like I don't know the word for it. Like they were just okay with it. Like they didn't reprimand them or anything.
Yeah, they didn't look down on it from that assessing virtue standpoint, but also they didn't see what you saw. They didn't have the ability to say, this isn't going to turn out well. And actually they got deeper into it. They allowed themselves to kind of be sucked into a bad way of doing things.
Yeah, like they definitely did. So.
And there was then at the end of the dream that kind of comeuppance again for all this type of stuff. It's like exactly as you predicted, all these choices. So I think there's different elements. What we got going on in the dream is, there's a lot of looking into, reflecting upon yourself, choosing identities, but also, am I going to lose it again? Lose another train of thought. I think a lot of the imagery in the dream is going to be related to what am I trying to say? How you're making a decision about what you want to become and using other people's examples, but that's not the whole thing. It's the imagery and the experiences and the sequences are saying something about the areas of yourself that you're looking into to decide whether or not to change. So if you look at the dream from that perspective, are there different episodes that stand out in terms of decision making? Do I do this? Do I do that? What do you think from that perspective?
There was one thing I forgot to mention. I was like, one thing I could have done that would probably be really easy was I probably would have been able to just kill the police officers, but I didn't. So that was one thing I actually considered, like when I stopped and like, I could probably just kill them, but we can go on our way, but I left. So
you had that thought in that moment of these consequences that are about to happen, I could make them not happen. And
but then it would get much worse because my parents didn't kill anyone. They just did fraud.
Yeah. So in that moment, you're like, I shouldn't do something that I could do, that I have the power to do, because then the consequences would be worse. It would make this situation worse to try and fix it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm wondering if there's specific... I mean, there could be issues with... not issues, that's not the right way to put it, but in terms of considering what mask you want to wear, what persona you want to adopt, who you want to become moving forward, there's this consideration of, I could become rich and beautiful, one of the beautiful people, so to speak. That's a possible path. Is that a persona you want to adopt? I mean, at least there's the consideration of that. You've put yourself in the dream imagery, in this lifestyle, as an outcome you think is potential, maybe? in the world?
I wouldn't say potential. Yeah, not really. But what I was thinking about that is I'm extremely weird. Like I've always been weird, like, and I've always been kind of honest about that. But like, it kind of just
welcome to the club.
It just kind of bothered me, like the way people treat me. So
yeah,
like, maybe it's like the option of like being true to myself and like trying to be more normal. I don't know.
Sure. No. I think that's something there. There's different opportunities in life and different consequences for those opportunities. So it's, and I struggle with that myself too, in terms of how true to myself should I be, even if other people think I'm weird, and then there's consequences for that. People react badly and I suffer this, that, or the other. I have opportunities denied, or, there's always a trade-off of those type of path choices. If you go one way, you can't go the other. You can't go both ways at the same time. You got to pick one, and then you could always change your mind, but at that moment of deciding, it's one or the other. So yeah. And go ahead.
I think that's what the dreams kind of say. Like, I can't decide. That's why I keep changing costumes.
Yeah. Or you haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I think you're, certainly no judgment for me on do or don't do whatever you feel like it. I'm not going to give you a hard time. Don't hurt anybody or yourself. But other than that, do whatever you want. And I didn't mean to say the idea of becoming rich was, it's not really that even. It's more like it's representative of financial success in degree. Does that make sense? Like, you have a road ahead of you where you're going to have to say, pick a career, work to sustain yourself. What do you want to do for a living, and how hard are you willing to work to obtain what quality of lifestyle? Is that making sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. I was actually I'm still really, really thinking about it, because I can decide if I don't want to do community college, because I don't know what I want to do yet. I want to figure out first, try that out, then go to actual college, or do the military like my dad does, because he makes good money, but it's a really hard job still. I can't really decide. I've been thinking about it for a very long time.
Yeah. When you think of the idea of the facility and community college, and you think of the idea of your dad being in the military or a soldier, and the killer in the dream, does anything come to mind with those overlaps?
The only thing I could really say is the facility does look a lot like my parents work at a base. It looks a lot like the base buildings.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. I think there is probably in your mind a tremendous respect for the power of the military in terms of sheer physical force. And that is a kind of power that you could acquire in the world. You become physically stronger. Probably have the ability to, in some ways, twist someone's head right around 180 degrees if you had to, or if it was necessary for combat.
Yeah, just snap their neck.
Yeah, that was actually the first thing that came to my mind, is that's what the killer did was, but you said cut it off. So there's something there, because so the head, it's not universal, but the head, what is the head? The head is where we do our thinking. It's where the brain is. So the head is kind of a universal symbol of knowledge or understanding in a lot of ways. And the idea that this killer is cutting the head off, it's removing the connection between the body and the brain and turning it around backwards. When you think about that, does anything come to mind?
To be honest, no. I don't think my unconscious brain would think that deep into it.
Maybe not, but yeah, there's something there in the symbolism in terms of. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
That is interesting though, but I do think there definitely is symbolism in it, because if you ever watch any good horror movie, there's always symbolism in the monster. So. Yeah,
there's a reason it exists. There's a reason it does what it does. It represents something. There's actually a great, I don't know if you like reading philosophical stuff. There's a great series called Philosophy and blank. So they've got philosophy and pop culture, philosophy and The Simpsons, philosophy and South Park. One of my favorites was Philosophy and the Undead. And it talks about why these iconic movie monsters vampires, werewolves, zombies keep coming back because they kind of hold up a mirror to different human traits that we consider not to be virtuous. Like a vampire draining the life out of someone. You don't want to be that person in your community because that hurts people. You know, you don't want to be, say, a lycanthrope, a werewolf that suddenly goes from normal person to dangerous animal, or zombies, people that just consume without thinking. Lots of great allegories in those famous movie monsters. Yeah, anyway, small tangent. Yeah, but the thought occurred to me when you were talking about, when you mentioned, say, going to community college, is, yeah, that there's possibly some part of you represented by that killer image in the dream that's cutting off the path to knowledge, so to speak, like a representation of pushing away the option to go to community college. When you think about that, does anything come to mind?
Just like, it's been very difficult to keep my grades up ever since quarantine started. So, like, I guess I'll definitely go to community college, but it's just like very hard to like focus. Like, it's just hard my schooling, honestly. That's...
Okay. Yeah. So that difficulty with academic accomplishment presents a kind of threat. Maybe that's where the killer is in the dream. There's something making sense there to me. The idea that it's not you, and it's not necessarily even a representation of a part of you, but something you're experiencing in the real world. So you've got this external threat that you realize is closer to you than you think, like family relation wise. And eventually by the end of the dream even comes into affect your home and your community, your neighborhood, your home, your family. Yeah. And it's this external threat of, like, say, failing to achieve academically as much as you might like, or the striving for it, but having that pathway cut off. You know, you did the best you could, but this kind of external force, this limitation is placed around you.
So what I'm getting at is the killer is literally like my subconscious mind, like representation of quarantine.
Could be. To my mind, what I was trying to get at was that idea of, but I mean, yeah, I mean, you went there, so I don't want to tell you you're wrong, and I'm not telling you you're wrong.
Yeah, like no one was outside because like they were scared of the killer, and then like, yeah, like quarantine does like affect like everyone's schooling, like it just like kind of like flipped it on its head. Like I go to school like once like every month, like yeah, and the streets are kind of empty. There is that kind of a thing. You know, we haven't even really gotten into. It might be. That might not be though. But.
Yeah, no, I think you're onto something there, and that's why I'm trying to blend it with what I was trying to say. Is that, yeah? So they've got in real life this external situation beyond your control. It's not you doing it, so it's not something you can just stop from happening. It's this killer that's out there hurting people, and it is having a negative effect on you and your family, and it's intimately tied up with you know, killing your academic accomplishment as well, which I think, yeah, I'm really stuck on that idea, and you can take it for what it's worth, but that cutting off the head of representing the disconnecting the ability to academically achieve. I think there's something definitely in there, but that would all depend on whether that really is meaningful to you.
I mean, yeah, it definitely is harder. It has been for about a year. I remember, like, they said, like, the seniors were going to get it the worst, but the junior year, yeah, we have the worst.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's a tough time for everybody out there too. Well, I mean, we did some pretty good work in terms of just the broad strokes and kind of trying to get the big picture on what's going on. Do any elements stick out to you where you're like, that one image, I want to understand it better, or that one experience really
The
intrigues me.
cheetah and the gazelle.
Oh yeah, at the very end. Well, we could do just I keep forgetting to do this in any of these things. Like one classic thing Freud would do is just word association. So, when you think of cheetahs, gazelles running, what comes to mind? What are the words or ideas or emotions that come to you?
Nostalgia. Cheetahs were always my favorite animal. Like I always pretended to be one when I was like a little kid.
Okay,
So
so
I
you
mean,
get
I like hawks more now, but I like cheetahs. So
you have a nostalgic feeling thinking about when you were a kid and you would role play even then as if you were an animal, specifically a cheetah. It was one of your favorite animals at the time.
yeah,
Okay, so there
there was a
is
cheetah with like special powers too. So that was
right shape shifting. I mean, you had it all. You just had to make sure you're invulnerable and immortal, live forever, and then you got the whole package.
I
Um,
was.
that you had that feeling in the dream of being invulnerable.
No, that was what I was when I was a little kid. Like my imagination.
Ah, the immortal cheetah with magic powers. Oh yeah, I remember playing. Speaking of like say movie monsters and vampires, that was actually one of my favorite things to get little vampire teeth and wear a cape. Ah, I don't know why. I did not grow up to be someone like that, but I don't know what it was that it was appealing to me about that. That's psychoanalysis of the wizard for another day. But in terms of that, it could be representing taking you back to a time when things were easier. There's like the words that came to my mind were escape or freedom, wide open spaces. I don't know if any of that resonates with you.
Yeah, I guess it does. Like I wasn't even worrying about eating anyone. Like I'm just like kind of like I was a more powerful creature because I'm a cheetah running with gazelle, but I wasn't like I don't have any worries. Like I wasn't hungry or anything. Like I'm just kind of relaxing, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And there is a certain freedom and relaxation, a worry free hakuna matata, in leaving it all behind. And you did, you left all those problems and stresses and killers and cops and family problems and drug dealing and all of that. And you're just, I'm just going to go be an animal and be free somewhere else. I think there's, and it is interesting that was the resolution of the dream after so much focus and stress and worry on these different, you're changing outfits a bunch of times. There's a killer on the loose. You're visiting family you don't like. There's just so many of these negative elements. And then kind of to cap it all off, your brain just says, let's just go for a run. Let's just get out there and go do our thing. Are you at all a runner in real life, jogger? Do you like to run?
Yes, I run a lot actually.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what do you have to say about that in terms of the end of the dream? When you put those ideas together?
Running to me, like the faster you go, the more it feels like you're flying. So that's,
Yeah.
I guess like if I was actually like flying, like I probably would have associated myself with that cheetah because running does feel like flying to me. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's weird, but that's how I thought of it.
No, and I mean, for the most important element is that it's something you enjoy. You run a lot. You're typically like a sporty person? Do you run for? But are you a part of the track team or you just jog for exercise?
I don't do any sports. I just I run for the fun of it.
Okay. Yeah. So you ended this dream of stress and worry and all these concerns about identity with, I'm just going to do something fun. I'm just going to put it all down and do what is self-healing, soul restoring for me. And it's interesting that you put yourself in you are a dangerous animal, but not a threat to these gazelles. It's this that's iconic of cheetahs eat gazelles. Gazelles run away, but you're running with them, and they're not scared, and you're not hungry, and you're not intent upon doing any harm. You're all just running together, and definitely it singles you out to be a different type of creature in that environment. There's something there too. I don't know. Anything coming to mind on that?
really. Like maybe it was like just like from early in the dream, like I had so much power, but I wasn't really a threat to anyone. Like
Yeah.
my family was, but I wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I can make a whole lot more out of that. I think we hit some pretty good notes on it. Yeah. Anything else come to mind in terms of images, experiences?
Not really. Okay, there was one when I was running away from the police, I was very scared. Like I felt like I was gonna get shot at and stuff. But
So,
like this voice in my head said, you can do it. Nothing's gonna shoot you. Don't worry about it. And so I got more and more brave and like confident in myself. Oh yeah, I
okay.
also did run across the ocean, and I think I did mention
That
a
you
video
did.
that
Yeah, I
watched
forgot
of-
about that too. Yeah, yeah. Where? So describe that experience of leaving the house again. That you had the urge to interact, to stop your family from suffering the consequences of their negative actions that you judged. I don't want any part of that. And then where did you go again? How did that happen?
I just kind of like walked out, and part of my brain was like, okay, you can still be with your family, just kill those police officers and drive away. And I considered it for a little bit, but like I was like, okay, no, it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
And I ran away because I listened to the voice, and I was very afraid that people were going to kill me. Like I heard police sirens and like everything, and they were like chasing me through the woods. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep running because I can't do anything else now. And a voice in my head said, "You're not gonna die. You're not gonna die. It's okay. Just keep running." And I did, and I ran across the ocean and basically came up to Africa and became a cheetah. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of transitions in this dream too, and I kind of completely forgot to even mention that idea of so many different scenes changing to taking you to different places. Yeah, not only did you say leave and walk down the street and just walk away and leave it all behind, but you ran like super fast, super speed, even as far as crossing an entire ocean. Maybe you've been pushing yourself too hard in this self-reflection lately. Does that sound?
I've kind of like always been like lazy. Like I've been like trying to like get better because like I just have like a unclean room. Like it's really hard for me to get my homework done. So
Clean your room.
I
That's
guess
a big
like,
thing. Yeah.
I guess like I've been doing like it like way too fast. Like I'm not like trying to like orderly do this.
Okay.
I
So
don't know.
you've kind of put upon yourself some self-imposed pressure to improve towards self-improvement.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe right at the very end of the dream, there's this part of you that's saying, you could just stop. You could just not do that. What are you doing? So that's where I got the idea of part of you is probably desiring to go back to being less active. I won't say lazy, but there's, different levels of activity, and you've ramped it up. Maybe you keep it up. Maybe that's what you need to do, and you're absolutely on the right path. Maybe part of you is saying you're going too fast, and maybe you want to dial it back before you break and get this urge to leave it all behind and just stop doing everything towards self-improvement.
I kind of like what you said, but it doesn't really make sense in the context of my dream because like running fast is what saved me.
It would. It depends on what it's saving you from. If running away from your self-improvement efforts will save you the stress, it will save you from the stress of trying to improve yourself. So there's a relief there. There's a release valve of you could just drop all this and walk away from it. But there's also that conflict in your mind of that's an appealing thought, but I'm doing this for a reason. I'm evaluating these. Does that make more sense?
Okay. Yeah, I get that more. That makes more sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I'm not saying that's the only possible answer, but that's what came to mind with that. There's, you gotta, what is it? There's, okay, so Alice in Wonderland, one of my favorite books going back to childhood, but also full of just fantastic philosophy. There's this part where Alice is talking to the Red Queen, and a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense to kids, but and it didn't make sense to me until recently either, but the Red Queen says, in my kingdom, you have to run as fast as you can just to stay in the same place. And if you want to get anywhere, you have to run even faster. And it's, as was explained to me recently, it was an allegory or analogy to the state of nature. Like in the kingdom of nature, standing still is a death sentence. You have to run, you have to work, you have to get food and fight to stay alive. All these, it's kind of the Red Queen is the natural world, so to speak, as much as the White Queen with the chessboard is logic, the world of the mind. So where am I going with that? Is you self-improvement and working on we just say self-improvement. It takes effort, but it's the kind of efforts that's necessary. It's the running in as fast as you can just to stay in one place. Otherwise, if you stop running, you fall behind. So I think a part of you is catching on to that idea of, if I'm going to literally make something of myself, I have to do the making. So you're in that experience, but there's times to run to stay in place, and there's levels of effort you can put into trying to get ahead. And there may be, or it seems to me like there is, at least parts of your mind right now that are saying, how hard do I want to work? How fast do I want to run? And part of you wants to run faster, and part of you wants to run so fast you leave it all behind and put down the burden. I don't know if I just threw a whole bunch of gobbledygook at you, or if any of that's kind of made sense.
It does kind of make sense. I think it's like my mind telling me that, like, if like you keep like working hard, you try like this self-improvement, you're gonna get like a happy ending, like a relaxed ending. Like you don't have to like work as hard after you're done with this.
Yeah. There's definitely a part of you that's saying there's a payoff to it. There is, by putting away, by drawing that value judgment on certain behaviors that are not productive, not going to get you where you want to be, you're going to become more powerful. You're going to, these represented with the psychic powers, and that by avoiding those negative things, or by improving the things you can, you're going to have a much better outcome than other people, as you saw in the dream all around you, having their negative consequences for making bad choices. I guess part of what I was trying to say with that rant a moment ago was, you don't want to stop moving. That's bad, but you want to
overexert.
You don't want to overexert. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you got to find your pace. The running thing. You run too fast, you're going to, I can't words right now.
I run faster than anyone I know.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if you're going to run a marathon, you can't run at a flat out sprint. You got to pace yourself.
You can't.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So I think that's probably part of what you're struggling with too, is finding that proper balance in your efforts. And stopping is a bad idea, and you're starting to wonder if you're pushing too hard and whether you can keep it up, whether you're going to break through the wall and find that pace. So I guess bottom line for me is say, don't be too hard on yourself, but don't sit still.
Okay.
Right.
That's good advice. Good advice for my psyche.
Okay. Yeah. I just trying to share what I think is useful and helpful, of course. Hey, we've been at this about an hour and a half. I don't know if you want to keep going or if you want to wrap it up.
I'd say wrap it up. I can't really think of anything else we haven't gone over.
Yeah, each time. Although I'll tell you, each time I think there's another one. This one's daughter. She hides in the closet. She never comes out. Oh, look at her, daughter.
My dog actually sees the closet. I have a little bed in there for her.
Right. She likes the dark, quiet places and just hides there. She likes to be alone. Yeah. So I completely forgot what I was going to say. Basically, just saying goodbye, I suppose. Hang out with me just maybe 1 minute after to say goodbye properly, and then I'll just say to everybody watching, well, first to our guest Munch, hey, thank you for coming back. It was great to talk to you a second time, and I look forward to talking to you again. And then also to everybody watching, hey, I wrote a book. It's out there. I'm working on a second one. We'll get that out as soon as I can. I don't have any merch or anything yet, but you can always look in the links below and send support, listen to the podcast, all that other good stuff. And I'll just say that's it for another episode of Dreamscapes. Thanks for listening.